Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this annual council meeting. Our first as a council since all being elected at the same time. Before the meeting starts, I'd like to begin by offering our warm welcome to the High Sheriff of Hertfordshire. It is with great pleasure that we have the company of Annie Brewster this evening at this meeting in her new role as High Sheriff. You are very welcome in North Herts, and thank you for attending. I would like to invite the committee member and scrutiny manager to update you on the systems being used.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome everyone to Annual Council. So quickly, we're not joined by anyone remotely this evening. So in terms of rules of debate, if a member wishes to speak, they should use the speak button located on your microphone unit. The microphone will light up green and the chair will be alerted of your request to speak. When the chair invites you to speak, your microphone will be made live and will turn red, at which point you can speak. The normal procedure rules in respect of debate and times to speak will apply. For voting, I will try and run through this a little bit slower than normal for our new members, and there are multiple methods of voting in practice this evening. Generally, voting will be via the yes, no, abstain buttons on your microphone unit. In this instance, details of how members voted will be shown on the screens around the room, and the result will be visible on the YouTube stream. Where a vote is required on appointments to a position, this will take place using only the yes button on the unit in front of you. I will outline each of the nominees for the position and will outline how many times you can vote yes. I will outline the process again ahead of any of the votes when we come to that. At an adjournment in tonight's meeting, there will also be elections of the chairs and vice chairs of our community forums. Voting for this will take place with members from the relevant areas, which I will conduct and ask you to stand if you are able at the start of that forum meeting, and the vote for that will be conducted by raising your hand. Where only one nomination is received for a chair or a vice chair of a community forum, there will not be a vote. In the event of a tied vote, in any instance, the chair will have the deciding vote. Are there any questions regarding voting or the rules of debate before we proceed with the meeting? Great, thank you. I'll now hand back over to the chair, Councillor Daniel Allen.
Thank you. Election of the Chair of the Council for the civic year 2024-2025. Can I invite nominations for the Chair of the Council for the civic year 24-25? I propose Councillor Claire Billing. May I have a seconder?
Councillor
Mason. Are there any further nominations for the Chair of Council? Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Chair. I propose Councillor David Chalmers.
Thank you very much. Councillor Tyson.
Happy to second that, Chair.
Wonderful. Are there any other nominations for chair? No. James.
Thank you, Chair. So, yeah, as indicated earlier, voting will take place in the following way. So, Councillor Brown, I don't know if sorry, do you want to go to Councillor Brown, Chair?
Councillor Brown.
Can I request a recorded vote, please?
James, would you mind just explaining what a recorded vote is for the benefit of new councillors?
Yeah, so a recorded vote is where we will normally we wouldn't publish the results by member of the vote taking place. Where a member requests a recorded vote, they will be made public and a vote by member will be published within the minutes from the meeting. With this one, because it is for a position, it will just be a yes vote on your microphone unit. I'll come to this in a second. So we will just be publishing those who voted yes. Please do not vote abstain or no. It's just yes for these positions. So when indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Claire Billing becoming chair of the council. After the conclusion of that vote, you will be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor David Chalmers. becoming chair of the council. You must only select a yes vote once, and please do not use any other voting option at this stage. Is that all clear for members? Brilliant, thank you. We will now move to the vote. So please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Claire Billing becoming chair of council. Thank you. We will just reset the vote. And please use the yes button on your microphone units to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor David Chalmers becoming chair of the council. Chair, that is a tied vote at 24 votes each. Therefore, you will have the deciding vote as chair. Could you please let us know whether you are voting for Councillor Claire Billing or Councillor David Chalmers?
I will be voting for Councillor Claire Billing.
Thank you then. It is agreed that Councillor Claire Billing will be the chair of council for the civic year 2024-2025. We'll just take a brief pause while Councillor Billing makes her way forward and we move round the nameplates and take some photos. Thank you.
Hold on a minute. I just need to get that.
Thank you everyone for your patience this evening. So what we've found out is that both Councillor Patmore and Councillor Williams's votes don't seem to have gone through on that vote there this evening. So in the interest of transparency, what we'll do is ask Councillor Patmore and Councillor Williams individually how they would have voted, and then we'll see what happens after that. So Councillor Patmore, how would you have voted in that vote, please, in favour of Councillor Chalmers or in favour of Councillor Billing?
Chalmers.
Thank you. And the same question to Councillor Laura Williams, Councillor Chalmers or Councillor Claire Billing.
Councillor Billing.
So we have yet a tie yet again. So that would have yet gone back to the chair for the deciding vote, which I'm getting nods would have again been the deciding vote for Councillor Claire Billing. So I hope that's explained the process. Apologies for the missed votes on that. We will add them into the recorded vote as they've indicated now, but I think we can proceed with Councillor Claire Billing and her declaration of acceptance of office as chair of the council. Thank you.
I, Claire Billing, having been elected to the office of Chair for the District of North Hertfordshire, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Code of Conduct, which for the time being applies to me as a councillor of North Hertfordshire District Council.
Not to put your name there. And today's day, 23rd of February, May.
Thank you very much. I will advise of my consort at the next meeting because I haven't had a chance to ask them yet. I would like to propose that the council places on record its sincere thanks and appreciation to Councillor Daniel Allen for his service as chair of the council during the past year, and also to his consort Amy Allen for their help and support during this term of office. Can I have a seconder?
No,
Delighted to.
Nigel, thank you. Does everyone agree? If there's no objection, then I take that as your assent. Amy? Very kind, thank you. It's not lovely.
sure you've got something in the chair as well.
Okay, and Daniel. Okay, so apologies for absence. Have we got any? Councillor Brown.
Councillor Lisa Nash is hoping to join us later. She's had a family emergency.
Any further? Apologies. Election of the Vice Chair of the Council for the civic year 24-25. Can I invite nominations for the Vice Chair of the Council? Daniel, Alan.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to propose Councillor Tina Bartwas.
Do I have a seconder? Oh, sorry. Councillor Tamsin.
Happy to second, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. And are there any other nominations? Councillor Ruth Brown.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Councillor Sean Prendergast.
Any do we have a seconder? Councillor Tom Tyson.
Yes, happy second.
Are there any other nominations for Vice Chair of Council? No. Oh, Councillor Ruth Brown.
I would like to request a recorded vote.
Okay, James.
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, again, just to explain, voting will take place in the following way. So when indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tina Bartwas becoming Vice Chair of the Council. After the conclusion of this vote, you'll be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming Vice Chair of the Council. You must only select a yes vote once, and please do not use any other voting option at this stage. Is this clear with members? And just to clarify, when your yes vote, it should stay green, it should stop flashing, and that's how you'll know that your vote has been registered. So if everyone's ready. It's red, sorry, I don't vote that often. So yeah, it's not something. So yeah. I'm just going to that. Yeah. Oh. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tina Bartwas becoming Vice Chair of Council. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming Vice Chair of the Council. Thank you, Chair. We have a tied for that position. So as before, it will come to you to cast the deciding vote. If you can announce whether you are voting in favour of Councillor Bartwas or Councillor Prendergast.
Councillor Bartwas.
Thank you. I therefore can announce that it is agreed that Councillor Tina Bartwas will become the Vice Chair of the Council for the civic year 24-25. Again, we'll just take a brief pause to swap over nameplates and take some pictures. Thank you.
having been elected to the office of Vice Chair for the District of North Hertfordshire, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Code of Conduct, which for the time being applies to me as a councillor of North Hertfordshire District Council. So just to thank everyone, thanking council for my election, and to announce that my consort for the year will be Shane Dangar, my partner, and I will now present him with the chain.
Okay, item 4, minutes of the meeting, the 18th of April 2024. I'd like to propose that we take as read and approve as true record the minutes of the meeting. The purposes of clarification, as the question is sometimes raised, the minutes of the previous meeting can be moved and seconded by members who were not present at that meeting, although it's preferable that those who were not present should abstain from voting and commenting on the motion. Can I have a seconder? Ruth Brown.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Any comments on the minutes? Okay, can we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion is carried.
Okay, item 5, Chair's announcements. Recording. In accordance with council policy, this meeting is recorded. The recordings will be available on both the council's YouTube page as well as the council's ModGov site. Number 2, climate emergency and ecological emergency. Members are reminded that this council has declared both a climate emergency and an ecological emergency. These are serious decisions that mean that as there are emergencies, all of us, officers and members, have that in mind when we carry out our various roles and tasks for the benefit of our district. More details are included in the agenda front sheet. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded to make declarations of interest before an item. The detailed reminder about this and speaking rights is set out under Chair's announcement on the agenda. Debate procedure. Can I remind you that the normal procedure rules in respect of debate and times will speak and to speak will apply. No speeches may be made after the mover has moved a motion as explained the purposes of it until the motion has been seconded. When seconding a motion or amendment, a member may reserve their speech until later in the debate. In accordance with the Constitution, please can members ensure that no speech exceeds 5 minutes without the consent of the chair. Comfort break. For the purposes of clarification, 4.8.23a of the Constitution does not apply to this meeting. Therefore, a member may leave the room during the debate and consideration of that item and be able to vote. However, please be mindful of the business of the agenda and, wherever possible, leave an appropriate point in the proceedings. I will take a comfort break at an appropriate time in the meeting should proceedings continue at length. New members, I would like to welcome to their first council meeting and congratulate the new members of the District Council following the elections on the 2nd of May. Councillors Tina Bartois, Sadie Billing, Rona Cameron, David Chalmers, John Claydon, Ruth Clifton, Emma Fernandez, Joe Graziano, Tim Johnson, Caroline McDonnell, Steve Patmore, Vijaya Pupatslaginham. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Martin Prescott, Emma Rowe, Paul Ward, Laura Williams, Stuart Willoughby, Claire Winchester and Donna Wright. Re-elected members, I would like to congratulate the following who were successfully re-elected at the district elections. Councillors Ian Albert, Amy Allen, Daniel Allen, David Barnard, Matt Barnes, me, Ruth Brown, Kathy Brown-John, Val Bryant, Sam Collins, Mick Debenham, Elizabeth Dennis, Dominic Griffiths, Chris Hinchcliffe, Keith Hoskins, Steve Jarvis, Chris Lucas, Ian Mantle, Nigel Mason, Bryony May, Michael Muir, Ralph Munzer, Lisa Nash, Sean Nolan, Louise Peace, Sean Prendergast, Claire Strong, Tamsin Thomas, Tom Tyson, Alistair Willoughby, Dave Winstanley, and Daniel Wright Mason. That was a long list. Former members, I would like to thank former councillors Richard Thake, Gerald Morris, Mandy Tandy, Adam Crompton, Michael Weeks, Raj Bakar, Terry Tyler, James Denslow, Daniel Marsh and Tom Plater, who did not stand for re-election. Former members non-elected. My final thanks go to former councillors Simon Bloxham, Juan Cowell, Faye Frost, Terry Hone, David Levitt, Ian Moody and Phil Weeder, who were unsuccessful in being re-elected. Register of interests. Can I remind new and returning members that by law they are required to complete their registers of interest forms online by the 31st of May. Failure to do so will be a potential criminal offence. This is a statutory requirement, and notwithstanding the motion to be considered later the agenda, all members should complete, and returning members check their register of interest form and resubmit by this date. Forms will need to be completed on your council laptops or your computer at the office and must be completed. If you believe you have an interest that would be classed as sensitive and you do not believe it should be on the public register, you must still disclose this to the monitor officer and set out why this should be withheld. If you have any issues accessing the form, please contact committee services team. Election expenses. Another reminder, you must complete and return your election expenses by Friday the 7th of June for district council elections. Even if the return is nil, failure to submit a spending return and or declaration by the deadline without an authorised excuse is a criminal offence. Additionally, anyone elected who has not submitted a spending return and or declaration by the required deadline should not be sitting or voting. If you need the form resending, please contact the electoral services team and please return them on time. Post-election survey. Councillors, candidates and agents will have received a post-election survey from Electoral Services. Please can I encourage you to complete and return the survey by 31st of May. In addition, we've been asked to complete an evaluation form following the members' induction and each subsequent training session. Again, please can I encourage you to complete and return. It's really important for the respective teams to identify areas of improvement as well as what worked well. Chair's charities fundraising total for 23-24. Please could I invite the former chair of council to announce the amount of money raised for his two chosen charities, Feed Up, Warm Up and Resolve, and to present the cheques.
Right. Oh, okay. We had a last minute donation. That's lovely. Okay. In total, we were able to raise over £4,000, and I am splitting that between Resolve and Feed Up Warm Up. And I'm very lucky to have the chair of Resolve here today. So could I please present you with a very large cheque?
Thank you, Daniel. That was great. I'm pleased to announce that my chair's charity for the civic year 24-25 will be SANDS, which is a charity that supports women who've had bereaved babies or cot deaths. I'll be inviting a representative for this charity to speak at the next meeting of the full council. On behalf of the former chair, Councillor Daniel Allen, I will be arranging for flowers to be delivered to Penny Copestake, the chair's secretary, in recognition and thanks of her hard work and support that she has provided over the year. And I look forward to working with Penny in the coming year. Finally, it's with great sadness that we announce that former district councillor Michael Weeks, a member of the Conservative Party and ward councillor for Baldock Town, passed away recently at the age of 83. He will be missed by many people, and our thoughts are with his family and friends at this very sad time. Michael served as a district councillor at North Herts District Council for 25 years, from first being elected in 1999 until he decided to stand down at the most recent elections in May 2024. He was elected as vice chair of the council from May 2010 to May 2011 and went on to be the chair of the council from May 2011 to May 2012. Michael was a member of cabinet from May 2017 to May 2019, during which he served as executive member for waste management, recycling and environment under the Conservative administration. He also served on many other committees during his time as a district councillor, including being chair of the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee from May 2013 to May 2017, and served several terms as chair and vice chair of the Baldock and District Area Committee, including most recently from May 2020 to May 2021. During 2023-24, he was appointed as a North Herts Council representative at the Baldock Town Twinney Association, the Baldock United Almshouse Charities, the Baldock Community Forum, and the Baldock Youth and Community Association. Is there anybody? Councillor Elizabeth Dennis.
Yes, Thank you, Chair. And for once, I will go back to old habits and stand. Councillor Weeks was an incredibly welcoming and supportive member of this council. Certainly for myself, when I was first elected in 2016, I had the pleasure of having the environment and waste brief and shadowed Michael for the majority of his term while he was in cabinet. During that time, colleagues will know that we had a particularly troublesome contract implementation. And rather than viewing me as an enemy or an adversary, Michael extended the hand of friendship, took on board my comments and feedback and suggestion when things weren't necessarily going well, appreciated the internal scrutiny and critical friend role that I provided. And when things were going really, really tough and we desperately needed that community engagement work to be done to support the reputation of this council, Michael didn't hold back. He called me and said, should I go and speak to the area committees? Should I go round to each of the councillors' surgeries? He was a humble man. He cared greatly about this district. He was a good friend and colleague, and he had his health challenges as well. And after his stroke, I remained concerned for his well-being and would regularly check in with him, because at the end of the day, when we serve this district and when we serve the people of this district, we have got so much more in common with each other than that which divides us. Party comes second, people always come first. And Michael really did live up to what I would expect from somebody in a leadership role. He was an excellent role model, and I've missed him greatly over the last few years. And I will miss him a considerable amount going forward now that he's no longer with us. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor David Barnard.
Thank you, Chair. And can I firstly say thank you to Elizabeth for a very heartfelt eulogy, or whatever one would describe it as. I can't hope to follow that very well. I'll perhaps give you a little bit of the lighter side of Michael. I first met Michael in May 1999 when he became the North Herts District Councillor. He came to this council having the experience of having served as a councillor on Barnet Council. As you've heard, Mike was a councillor here for 24 years, working hard for his Baldock constituents and working on many committees here, some as chairman and culminating as chairman of this council, as you've heard, in 2011 to 2012. He held the respect and friendship of all he came into contact with. My late wife Sue and I became close friends with Mike and his wife Kay, and we spent many holidays together and great times. Kay and Mike were together for nearly 40 years. Mike and Kay loved their summers touring here and abroad in what he called his little red car. He loved that very much. There are many stories that I can recall about Mike, and his love of karaoke stands out for me. It always had to be, I've been a wild rover, which is not the sort of thing you'd normally find on a playlist for karaoke, but nevertheless, that's what it always became, and he always asked me to back him up on that one, which was even worse. So times remembered will include the day he set fire to his hanging basket by lighting his chimney directly below it. That's Mike. That's Mike. And the day he spilled a whole enormous bucket of popcorn across the floor of the cinema in Weymouth. And it meant that he and I had to leave before the lights came up. There was scrunching everywhere, but we got out alive. His humour, love of life, and his love of serving the community well is the hallmark and legacy he leaves as an example to us all. I'll miss him enormously. Sorry. And I hope that all who knew him will cherish his memory. My love, and I'm certain this council's best regards, will combine with sympathy and best wishes to Kay and their children, Tom, Harriet, and Chris. For information, Mike's funeral will be at the church in Baldock on the 12th of June at 1:45, and after at the White Lion in High Street, Baldock. Everybody is invited, to pay their respects and have a drink on him after. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Alistair Willoughby.
Thank you, Chair. I've known, I knew Michael since I was 4. I remember when I was running against him in 2021. Of course, I didn't win. He came over and he said to me, but next time it will be your turn. And he was absolutely right, it was. I then had the great honour of serving our community alongside him. And he was, despite our political differences, and obviously there were many, he was a fantastic champion for our community over many years. And I will miss him. My thoughts are absolutely with his family. Kay, who has been absolutely fantastic, checking in with my mum whenever things weren't going my way in Baldock. She has been absolutely fantastic, and obviously she has the full sympathy of myself and my family.
Councillor Ralph Monsor.
Thank you, Chair. And I don't think I can beat the tribute that my colleague Councillor Barnard made, a close personal friend of the late Mike Weeks. But Michael Weeks's life was one defined by service, a councillor in Barnet and then serving this district since 1999 as a councillor for Baldock. He took in his stride representing his constituents and doing what was right by not just the people of Baldock, but by the people of North Hertfordshire. And certainly, my deep condolences, and I think the condolences of everyone at this council, goes to Kay and to his 3 children. And we most definitely are, worse off for not having him in this chamber. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm sure all members wish to join me in passing our thoughts to it at this time onto his family and friends, and request that you join me in a minute's silence in remembrance. As David Barnard said, for those wishing to attend, we've been notified that Councillor Weeks' funeral will take place on Wednesday, the 12th of June at 1:45 at St Mary's Church in Baldock. Number 6. District Council election results, including all polls from the 4th of May 2023. Melanie.
Thank you, Chair. This is the usual results of all of the parish council elections, as well as the uncontested parish council elections, and we also include the PCC election results, Chair.
Are there any questions or comments? Councillor Ralph Monsor.
Thank you, Chair. Could I just first of all welcome back and welcome to all those who were re-elected or elected in the elections. But just take the opportunity on behalf of the Conservative group to thank all of those involved with the administration of the elections. I know that you've been working so incredibly hard for the last, countless few months, and I know it's a great feat of logistics. So thank you to you. And I know, unfortunately, with the Prime Minister having called the election, there won't be too much rest. But hopefully during the summer you'll be able to get some. But again, thank you very much for all of your hard work.
Councillor Ruth Brown.
I'd like to support and echo Councillor Muntz's comments. I think our electoral team did an amazing job. First ever all-up elections. It was brilliantly well organised. I'm sure that they will take on board any feedback we do have about any minor issues, but overall I think it went extremely well. So thank you so much for the hard work of all our officers and the team.
The recommendation is to note the report. Oh, sorry, Councillor Daniel Allen.
Just to echo the previous two comments and give our sincere thanks to Democratic Services and everybody that was involved in organising the elections. Thank you.
Right, now the recommendation is to note the report. Can I have a proposer? Councillor Ruth Brown. And a seconder. Daniel Allen. Coming. And we go to the vote.
Chair, that motion's carried.
Right, now we go to the election of the Leader of the Council 24. Can I invite nominations for the Leader of the Council? Councillor Nigel Mason.
Happy to nominate Councillor Daniel Allen.
Thank you. Any seconder? Councillor Val Bryant.
Second.
Do we have any other nominations? Nope. If there are no nominations, can we move to the vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
I understand that the new Leader of the Council would like to propose a motion.
Thank you very much. I would like to propose that the Council places on record its sincere thanks and appreciation to Councillor Elizabeth Dennis for her service as Leader of the Council during the past 3 years.
Jen? Can we go to the vote, please?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Okay, we move on to appointment of the Deputy Leader of the Council and members of the Cabinet. Please note that Appendix A to the report is provided in the supplementary agenda pack. I would like to invite the Leader of the Council to present the report.
Thank you. I would like to advise the Deputy Leader of the Council for 24-25 will be Councillor Val Bryant, and that executive members are listed in the appendix to the published report.
Are there any questions or comments? Nope. So the recommendations are 2.1, that the appointment of the Deputy Leader of the Council for the civic year 24-25 be noted. 2.2, that the members to be appointed executive members of the Cabinet for 24-25 and the areas for which they will be responsible as detailed in Appendix A, published as a supplement be noted. Can I have a proposer? Daniel Allen.
Happy to propose.
And a seconder? Councillor Nigel Mason.
Thank you.
Is there any debate? Nope. Can we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Appointment of members of committees, joint committees and panels for 24-25. Please note that Appendix B to the report is provided in the supplementary pack. Before I invite the Leader of the Council to move the appointments of members of committees, the Conservative Group Leader has advised of the following additional substitutes to those published. Finance, Audit and Risk Committees sub will be Councillor Claire Strong. Planning Control Committee sub will be Councillor Joe Graziano. Standards Committee sub will be Councillor Ralph Munzer. There also remains a number of vacancies, namely 2 Labour and Cooperative vacancies on the Planning Control Committee, 1 Conservative vacancy on the Cabinet Panel on Environment, and 3 Conservative substitute vacancies on the panel. Additional Conservative and Liberal Democrat substitutes on the Council Tax Setting Committee, Employment Committee, Employment Appeals Committee and Joint Staff Consultative Committee. Do the respective council leaders wish to appoint members now or notify the proper officer at a future date of the members that they wish to appoint? Councillor Ruth Brown.
Thank you, Chair. I was only informed today by the Committee Services Manager that we had some additional substitute places, so I agree that we would leave it for a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ralph Munzer.
Thank you, Chair. The Conservative Group will also be making those substitutions at another point in time.
Councillor Daniel Allen.
And the Labour Group will also be making those announcements at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, please can the Leader confirm that the Deputy Leader will substitute on the Hearts Growth Board?
I can.
Thank you. Can I invite the Leader of the Council to move the appointment of members of committees, subcommittees, working groups and panels for 24-25 as amended?
Happy to.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions or comments? The recommendations are 2.1 that for 24-25, the seats allocated to each political group of the committees to which section 15 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1889 applies, and the seats allocated to each political party on the bodies to which section 15 of the Local Government and Housing Act 89 does not apply, as set out in Appendix A to this report, be noted. 2.2 for 24-25, members be appointed to the various committees and other bodies in accordance with the wishes of the individual political groups as detailed in Appendix B, provided as supplementary document to this report, with the addition of Councillor Claire Strong as Conservative sub on the Finance Audit Risk Committee, Councillor Joe Graziano as Conservative sub on the Planning Control Committee, and Councillor Ralph Munzer as the Conservative sub on the Standards Committee. That for 2.3, that for 24-25, each political group be appointed to the Constitutional and Governments Working Group and the Community Governance Review Working Group as detailed in 8.6 of the report. Can I have a seconder? Ruth Brown.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you. Can we go to debate? No debate, so can we vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Item 10, appointment of chairs and vice chairs of committees for 24-25. Please note that Appendix A to the report is provided in the supplementary agenda pack. Before I invite the Leader of the Council to move the appointments of members of committees, and Liberal Democrat Group Leader has advised of the following additional vice chair nominations to those published. Councillor Ruth Brown as Vice Chair of Joint Staff Consultative Committee, Councillor Ruth Brown as Vice Chair of Employment Committee. Before I invite the Leader of Council to move the appointment of chairs and vice chairs of committees, there remain vacancies for Vice Chair of Standards Committee, Chair of Employment Committee, Chair of Employment Appeals Committee, and Vice Chair of Employment Appeals Committee. Do we have any nominations for these vacant positions? Councillor Daniel Allen.
We do. Vice Chair for Standards Committee, Councillor Ian Albert. Chair of Employment Committee is myself. Vice Chair for the Employment Committee is Councillor Ruth Brown. The Chair of the Employment Appeals Committee will be Chris Hinchliffe. And the proposed Vice Chair of the Employment Appeals Committee will be Councillor Nigel. Will be Councillor Nigel Mason. As such, I would like to move the appointments of the chairs and the committees for 24-25.
Are there any questions? Oh, Councillor Ralph Munzer.
Thank you, Chair. Just to seek a point of clarification, we do have a contest for the proposed Vice Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Are we going to be taking a vote on that before we vote on the substantive motion?
Councillor Munzer, we had planned on doing it after the substantive motion, but yet we can take the vice chair vote ahead of that and then vote on all of the appointments together. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Can we have a seconder for the? we're going to go to the vote for vice chair on the of overview and scrutiny committee. So James, can you?
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, as Councillor Muntzer mentioned, there are two nominations proposed for the vice chair position on the overview and scrutiny committee. When indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tom Tyson becoming the vice chair, following which you will be asked to use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Martin Prescott becoming the vice chair. You may only vote yes one time, do not use any other buttons, and do not vote more than once. We will now move to the vote. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tom Tyson becoming the vice chair of Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Thank you. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Martin Prescott becoming the vice chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Thank you, Chair. Therefore, Councillor Tom Tyson will be appointed as the vice chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Thank you.
So can we go back to the proposal that Daniel Allen made for the list of chairs and vice chairs? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Nigel Mason. Thank you. Can we go to the vote? Oh, is there any debate? There's no debate. So can we go to the vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
We will now adjourn the meeting so that each of the community forums can convene to elect the chairs and vice chairs for the civic year. Please remain seated and take part when the respective community forum to which you're a member is considered. I will hand over to the committee member and scrutiny manager to start the process.
Thank you very much, Chair. So unless elected chairs want to do it themselves, I propose that I will run through the apologies for absence, the nomination and appointment of a chair, and nomination and appointment of the vice chair for all 5 community forums. If anyone does want to do the vice chair nomination themselves, please do make it obvious to me and I will come across to you. So we'll go through in alphabetical order. Please stand up if you are able to when I call your name. So we'll begin with Baldock and District Community Forum. So this is for the following members only: Councillors Rona Cameron, Steve Jarvis, Michael Muir, Emma Rowe, Tom Tyson, Alistair Willoughby, and Stuart Willoughby. So are there any apologies for absence this evening? No. And can I ask for nominations to the chair of the Baldock and District Area Community Forum for 24-25. Councillor Cameron.
I would like to propose Alistair Willoughby.
Thank you. And can I have a seconder for Councillor Willoughby? Councillor Rowe. And are there any other further nominations for chair? No, in that case, then Councillor Willoughby is elected chair for 24-25, and I will continue on to the vice chair position. So can I ask for nominations to the vice chair position of the Baldock and District Community Forum for 24-25? Councillor Willoughby.
I would like to nominate Councillor Rowe.
Thank you. And can I have a seconder for Councillor Rowe? Councillor Willoughby, Stuart. Thank you. So we've got Councillor Willoughby. Are there any further nominations for vice chair? In that case, then Councillor Rowe is elected as the vice chair for 24-25, and I now close this meeting of the Baldock and District Community Forum. Thank you. Moving on to the Hitchin Community Forum. This is for the following members: Councillors Ian Albert, Claire Billing, Val Bryant, John Claydon, Sam Collins, Elizabeth Dennis, Keith Hoskins, Chris Lucas, Nigel Mason, Dave Winstanley, Donna Wright, and Daniel Wright Mason. Are there any apologies for absence? None. Thank you. And can I ask for nominations to chair of the Hitchin Community Forum for 24-25? Councillor Val Bryant.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Ian Albert.
Yes. And can I have a seconder?
Happy to second.
Councillor Mason, thank you. Are there any further nominations for chair of the Hitchin Community Forum? In that case, Councillor Ian Albert is elected as chair for 24-25, and I will continue on to the vice chair nominations, if all okay. So can I ask for nominations to the vice chair of the Hitchin Community Forum 24-25? Councillor Mason.
Councillor Claire Billing.
Claire Billing. Thank you. And a seconder for that, Councillor Bryant.
Second.
Thank you. And are there any further nominations for vice chair? Then Councillor Claire Billing is elected vice chair for 24-25. I now close this meeting of the Hitchin Community Forum. Letchworth Community Forum. This one is for the following members: Councillor Amy Allen, Councillor Daniel Allen, Tina Bartwas, Sadie Billing, David Chalmers, Mick Debenham, Emma Fernandez, Ian Mantle, Sean Nolan, Sean Prendergast, Tamsin Thomas, and Claire Winchester. Are there any apologies for absence for this forum? None. Can I ask for nominations for the chair of the Letchworth Community Forum 24-25? Councillor Thomas.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Sadie Billing, please.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Amy Allen.
I'd like to ecstatically second that, please.
Thank you. And are there any further nominations? Thank you. Then in that case, Councillor Sadie Billing is elected as the chair for 24-25. And I can't see if she's making any indication, but I will continue on to the vice chair if that's okay. So can I ask for nominations as vice chair of the Letchworth Community Forum? Councillor Sadie Billing.
I would like to nominate Tamsin Thomas.
Thank you. And can I have a seconder for Councillor Thomas? Councillor Amy Allen.
I'd like to also ecstatically second that.
Thank you. And are there any further nominations? Then Councillor Tamsin Thomas is elected as the vice chair for 24-25, and I close this meeting of the Letchworth Community Forum. Royston and District Community Forum. This one is for the following members: Matt Barnes, Ruth Brown, Kathy Brown-John, Ruth Clifton, Chris Hinchcliffe, Tim Johnson, Bryony May, and Martin Prescott. Are there any apologies for absence for this forum? No. Can I ask for nominations to the chair of the Royston and District Community Forum? Councillor Barnes. Thank you. And can I have a seconder for Councillor Brown? Councillor May. Thank you. Are there any further nominations? No. Then Councillor Brown is appointed as chair for 24-25. Are you happy for me to continue with vice chair? Can I ask for nominations to vice chair of the Royston Community Forum? Councillor Brown.
I'd like to nominate Councillor May.
Thank you. And Councillor Barnes. Second in that. Yep. Brilliant. And are there any further nominations for vice chair? Then Councillor Bryony May is elected as vice chair for 24-25. And I now close this meeting of the Royston and District Community Forum. Finally, Southern Rural Community Forum. These are for the members following: Councillor David Barnard, Joe Graziano, Dominic Griffiths, Caroline McDonnell, Ralph Munzer, Lisa Nash, Stephen Patmore, Louise Peace, Vijay Pupalasingham, Claire Strong, Paul Ward, and Laura Williams. Are there any apologies for absence from this forum? Councillor Ward.
Yeah, apologies for Councillor Lisa Nash.
Thank you. Can I ask for nominations to the chair of the Southern Rural Community Forum? Councillor Ward.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Dominic Griffiths.
And is there a seconder for Councillor Dominic Griffiths? Councillor McDonnell.
Yes, there is. I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Councillor Munzer.
I would like to nominate Councillor David Barnard, chair of Southern Rural.
And is there a seconder for Councillor Barnard? Councillor Patmore? Yeah. In that case, we need to vote on each of those. So please, we'll do it just by hand on this one. We won't be using any of the buttons in front of you. So please raise your hand for a vote in favour of Councillor Dominic Griffiths becoming chair of the Community Forum. We have 4 votes in favour of Dominic Griffiths. And please raise your hand if you are in favour of Councillor David Barnard becoming chair of the Southern Rural. That's 5 votes for Councillor Barnard. Therefore, Councillor Barnard is elected as the chair of the Southern Rural Community Forum 24-25. Are you happy for me to continue for vice chair nominations? Yep. Yes, Councillor Barnard for.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Claire Strong as the vice chairman of Southern Rural Forum.
Thank you. And is there a seconder for Claire Strong?
I would like to second Claire Strong for Vice Chair of Southern Rural.
Thank you, Councillor Munzer. Are there any further nominations? Sorry, Councillor Ward.
Thank you. I'd like to nominate Councillor Lisa Nash.
Lisa Nash. Thank you. And is there a seconder for Councillor Nash? Happy to second. Thank you, Councillor Griffiths. Again, we'll move to the vote on this. So please raise your hand for a vote in favour of Councillor Claire Strong becoming vice chair. That's 5 votes in favour. And the same again for Councillor Lisa Nash becoming vice chair. That's 4 votes in favour. Therefore, Councillor Claire Strong is elected as vice chair for 24-25. And I will now close this meeting of the Southern Rural Community Forum. Thank you all. We will now return to the main session and I'll hand back over to the chair.
Okay, before we start going on to the next item, I would like to propose a comfort break to allow people to refresh. Hi, can we take our seats back, please? Okay, this meeting's resumed. Can I invite the leader of the council to present the report and move recommendations? Or leader's annual report. Daniel Allen.
I do not feel sufficiently prepared to present this report at the moment, due to the fact that I've been in post for about half an hour. If so, I would like to defer, please, to the next meeting.
Okay, that's noted. So we'll move on to item 13, schedule of council meetings 24-25. Can I invite the leader of the council to move the approval of the programme of ordinary meetings for the council for the civic year 24-25?
I would like to move the calendar of meetings for 24-25 as attached at Appendix A.
Thank you. Do we have a set? Oh, Ruth Brown.
I have a question. Full council in April 2025 is currently scheduled for the 17th. That's Maundy Thursday, the day before Good Friday, and it is right in the Easter holidays. I wondered if that was a sensible time to have it and whether it could be, we could look at moving it.
James, could you?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that, Councillor Brown. Yep, you're right. That does fall on the Thursday before the Easter weekend and in the middle of the Easter holidays. If members are minded, we can approve that at this meeting tonight. So we have the meeting set and then we'll revise the date at a later stage in consultation with the newly appointed chair of council. So if we're okay with approving the dates, then we'll approve them as they are. And then we can revise that 17th of April 2025 date as soon as possible.
Councillor Brown.
On the basis of that, this I'm happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Munzer.
Thank you. Could I just ask committee services, is there a reason as to why we're having this meeting or why it was proposed so late in April? I know that we used to have a meeting in about March or mid-March. So why the change? Because obviously we don't have elections this year, which would, limit that.
I mean, the reason is, yeah, as you say, because of the elections, we historically had it later in April so that members who were retiring could, pay tribute in their final couple of weeks, or tributes could be paid to them in their final couple of weeks. As you say, we don't have an election for the district council this year. As we'll be revising the date, we can look to potentially bring that forward. So that will be in consultation with chair, group leaders, and then we'd notify members following that. So yeah, and we have budget at the end of February. So I think it was just to try and extend it out. It also allows for any constitutional amendments ahead of a new civic year to be made at that final meeting. But yeah, we'll revise the date and can look at alternatives.
Are there any other? Oh, Councillor Clare-Strong.
It's really a question, as it's now been pointed out that this date is going to be changed. Would it not be in order just to suggest that it proposed that we have it the Thursday a week forward to be confirmed, just because otherwise it's going to take an awful long time before we actually get this date settled in our diaries? Would that not be a sensible suggestion? We put it forward.
Without being able to look at the sort of alternative dates in detail and consult those with the chair and the group leaders as we would normally do for any date changes, I think we at this stage approve what is on the report, and then we can revise that to a future date. I think the 10th of April would still be in the Easter holidays potentially. I'm getting nods. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Then Chairman, I think, or Chair, I think we should not be approving that date. If we're all saying we're not going to have that date in our diary, I think it's nonsensical to actually approve a date that we're then going to change. So I would then suggest that we just have it to be confirmed or something, or to be arranged, not to publish that date.
Chair, if it's helpful if we then approve the calendar of meetings that's attached with as Appendix A with the reviso that the calendar, the April meeting of council will be to be confirmed, the April council meeting, so that we have the calendar confirmed.
So Daniel Allen.
Happy to accept that amendment and still put that forward.
Councillor Ruth Brown.
Also happy to accept that amendment.
Any other questions or comments? So the recommendation that the calendar of meetings for 24-25 as not attached in Appendix A, because it's to be confirmed.
Well, Chair, it is the one that's attached in Appendix A, just that with the exception that the council meeting in April will be TBC.
Okay, be approved. Any debate? Nope. So can we go to a vote, please?
Chair, that motion's carried.
So item 14, nomination of representatives on outside organisations and other bodies. Can I invite the leader of the council to propose the nomination of representatives on outside bodies and organisations for 24-25?
Thank you very much. I am happy to propose as it's read.
Councillor Cathy Brownjohn has withdrawn her nomination for the place on Royston Old People's Day Centre, and therefore the council's representatives will be Councillor Bryony May. Are there any questions or comments? So the recommendation is that the list of nominations of representatives on outside organisations and other bodies for 24-25 as set out in Appendix A, published as a supplement to the report, be approved, except for Baldock Town Twinning Association, Baldock United Almshouses Charities, Baldock Youth and Community Association, Hertfordshire Health Scrutiny Committee, Letchworth Civic Trust, Letchworth Garden City Bid, Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation, Letchworth Garden City Town Twinning Association, London Luton Airport Consultative Committee, Police and Crime Panel. 2.2, that political group leaders notify the Democratic Services Manager of nominations to the remaining vacancies or any changes to the existing representatives on outside organisations. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Val Bryant. Thank you. Is there any debate? Then we can go to the vote. I'll now hand over to committee.
Chair, that motion's carried.
Now I can hand over to committee member and scrutiny manager to take each contested nomination in turn.
Thank you, Chair. So we have 10 contested nominations this evening. Therefore, we will need to vote on each of these. What I will do is I will outline how many nominations we have for the outside organisation, the number of representatives who should be on it, and I'll run through the process and how many votes you will be able to cast for each vote. So firstly, we'll consider the Baldock Town Twinning Association. There are 3 nominations proposed for the 2 representatives on this. When indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Michael Muir becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the F button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Alistair Willoughby becoming the council's representative, and then we will take Councillor Stuart Willoughby. You may vote yes 2 times. Do not use any other buttons and do not vote more than twice. We want Councillor Muir. I've just seen.
You mentioned my name for Baldock Town Twinning. I'm an ex-chairman of it. I sit on the committee and my wife is president. So there's no need for me to represent this council on that body.
Thank you, Councillor Muir. So you're withdrawing your nomination as representative. So therefore, we no longer need a vote on Baldock Town Twinning Association, and Councillor Alistair Willoughby and Stuart Willoughby will be elected as the council's representatives on that. We will next consider the Baldock United Almshouses charities. There are 4 nominations proposed for the 3 representatives on this. When indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Michael Muir becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Alistair Willoughby becoming the councillor's representative, and then we will take Councillor Stuart Willoughby, followed by Councillor Emma Rowe. You may vote yes 3 times, do not use any other buttons, and do not vote more than 3 times. We'll now move to the vote. So please use yes on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Michael Muir becoming the council's representative on the Baldock United Almshouses charities. Thank you. We'll just reset that. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Alistair Willoughby becoming the council's representative on the Baldock United Almshouses charities. Thank you. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Stuart Willoughby becoming the council's representative on the Baldock United Almshouses charities. Thank you. And finally, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Emma Rowe becoming the council's representative on the Baldock United Almshouses charities. Thank you. Therefore, Councillors Alistair Willoughby, Stuart Willoughby and Emma Rowe are elected as the council's representative to the Baldock United Almshouses charities. Thirdly, we will next consider the Baldock Youth and Community Association. Again, there are 4 nominations proposed for the 3 representatives on this. When indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Michael Muir becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Alistair Willoughby. Then we will take Councillor Stuart Willoughby, followed by Councillor Emma Rowe. You may vote yes 3 times, do not use any other buttons, and do not vote more than 3 times. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Michael Muir becoming the council's representative on the Baldock Youth and Community Association. Thank you. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Alistair Willoughby becoming the council's representative on the Baldock Youth and Community Association. Thank you. Now please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Stuart Willoughby becoming the council's representative. Thank you. And again, finally, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Emma Rowe becoming the councillor's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Alistair Willoughby, Councillor Stuart Willoughby and Councillor Emma Rowe are elected as the council representatives for the Baldock Youth and Community Association. We will next consider the Hertfordshire Health Scrutiny Committee. As only one nomination for the substitute role had been received, Councillor Donna Wright will be appointed to that position. There are 2 nominations proposed for the 1 representative on the Health Scrutiny Committee itself. When indicated, please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor John Claydon becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tina Bartwas becoming the council's representative. You may vote yes only once. Do not use any other buttons and do not vote more than once. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor John Claydon becoming the council's representative. Thank you. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tina Bartwas becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Tina Bartwas is elected as the representative for the Hertfordshire Health Scrutiny Committee. We will next consider the Letchworth Civic Trust. There are 3 nominations for the 2 representatives on this. When indicated, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Claire Winchester becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Emma Fernandez becoming the council's representative. And we will then take Councillor Daniel Allen. You may vote 2 times, do not use any other buttons, and do not vote more than twice. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Claire Winchester as the council's representative. Thank you. We'll reset that. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Emma Fernandez becoming the council's representative. Thank you. And finally, please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Daniel Allen becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Emma Fernandez and Councillor Daniel Allen are elected as the representatives to the Letchworth Civic Trust. Next, we consider the Letchworth Garden City Business Improvement District. There are 2 nominations proposed for the 1 representative on this. When indicated, please use the yes button on your unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tamsin Thomas. You may only vote 1 time, do not use any other buttons, and do not vote more than once. Please use the yes button to vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Tamsin Thomas becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Tamsin Thomas is appointed as the council's representative to the Letchworth Garden City bid. Next, we'll consider the Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation. There are 2 nominations for the 1 representative on this. When indicated, please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Ian Mantle. You may only vote 1 time. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming the council's representative. Thank you. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Ian Mantle becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Ian Mantle is appointed as the council's representative to the Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation. Next, we'll consider the Letchworth Garden City Town Twinning Association. We have 2 nominations proposed for the 1 representative on this. When indicated, please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor David Chalmers becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Mick Debenham becoming the council representative. You may only vote 1 time. Please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor David Chalmers becoming the council's representative. Who is it? This one, is it Mantle or Evans? Evans. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to vote in favour of Councillor Mick Debenham becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Mick Debenham is appointed as the council's representative to the Letchworth Garden City Town Twinning Association. Next, we'll consider the London Luton Airport Consultative Committee. There are 2 nominations proposed for the 1 representative on this. When indicated, please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sam Collins becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Mick Debenham. You may only vote once. Please use the yes button to vote in favour of Councillor Sam Collins becoming the council's representative. Thank you. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Mick Debenham becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Mick Debenham is appointed as the council's representative to the London Luton Airport Consultative Committee. We will next consider the Police and Crime Panel, which is our final appointment this evening. As only 1 nomination for the substitute role has been received, Councillor Pupalasingham will be appointed to the position of sub. There are 2 nominations proposed for the 1 representative on this. When indicated, please use the yes button to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming the council's representative, following which you'll be asked to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Val Bryant becoming the representative. Please only vote once. Please use the yes button to vote in favour of Councillor Sean Prendergast becoming the representative. Thank you. And please use the yes button on your microphone unit to indicate a vote in favour of Councillor Val Bryant becoming the council's representative. Thank you. Therefore, Councillor Val Bryant is appointed as the council's representative on the Police and Crime Panel. Thank you for your patience, and I'll hand back to the chair.
Item 15, exclusion of the press and public. I propose that under section 100A of the Local Government Act 1972, the press and public be excluded from the meeting on the grounds that the following report will involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of part 1 of schedule 12A of the said act as amended. Can I have a seconder? Daniel Allen.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you. Can we go to the vote, please?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Yeah. That says part 2 too.
Part 2, wait, do you mean? Yeah, part 2.
Item 17, the part 2 meetings, 18th of April 2024. We're back in the public session. I would like to propose that we take as read and approve as a true record the part 2 minutes of the meeting of council held on the 18th of April 2024. Can I have a seconder? Daniel Allen.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you. Any comments? No. Can we go to a vote?
Chair, that motion's carried.
Thank you all for attending this annual meeting of the full council. I would now like to close this meeting. The next council meeting is on the 11th of July.